Today is Saturday, June 17th, and I'm looking at a sample of pond water from Central Park. I got this from a pond in Central Park called the Pool, and there are lots of different critters in here. So first, of course, now that I've started the video, it is hidden in the debris, but hopefully we can see this thing here is very long and skinny and snake-like, and I want to contrast it with a different long, skinny, snake-like thing in a minute, but this one is not cooperating. So let's go look at the other one first. Let's see, it is over here. So we've got lots of these sort of ovalish ciliates. Then there's this really long thing over here. This one is different from the one I first wanted to show you because the front of it, I'm going to call it, is the part that is mostly clear, whereas the back has lots of stuff in it. Let me see if I can zoom in again. There we go. That was actually pretty good. So here is one of the things. I think of it as going backwards right now, because usually this one goes the other direction. Maybe not. I might have missed, no? I'm not sure. Anyways, here's this one. Ooh, let's try locking the white balance and then switching to dark field microscopy. Maybe that will get a better view. Not really. Suppose I fiddle with this for a bit. Is this better? What if I lower the exposure? No. All right, I give up. I'm going back to bright field microscopy. So this thing's kind of neat, and there's, if we zoom out, there was another one nearby somewhere. Hold on, there we go. So here's two long skinny things. Are they the same species? Are they different species? I don't know. And then, oh good, the one I wanted to show you before has come out to play. If we zoom in here, so there's that one. And it does not have a clear section at either the front or the back. It's got, its insides distributed pretty evenly throughout. And again, we've got all these other sort of oval ciliates running around everywhere. So I thought that was pretty neat. And I suspect all of these are the same species, but I don't actually know. Hope springs eternal. One more time, I'm going to try switching to dark field microscopy. Yeah, this is better. This will be fine. So we've got these ciliates here. We've got these long, skinny ciliates. This one has very little opaque stuff in its back. This one has stuff distributed throughout. Not sure what the difference between those is. Then, elsewhere in this slide, by the way, this is currently at 100 times magnification. The zoomed out parts were at 40 times magnification. So these are relatively large critters. If we zoom out again, somewhere over this away was a nematode. And I made the mistake of taking the sample from sort of the bottom of the jar of pond water I had. And so there's too much debris in here, and it's hard to find the the microbes in amongst all of the dirt and grime and sand and stuff. Well, I'll look for the nematode later. In the meantime, we've found our way to the stentor that I wanted to show. Stentors you can recognize because they've got this long trumpety sort of shape. I think stentor is like the Latin word for trumpet or the Greek word for trumpet or something. And they're named for having this very characteristic shape of theirs. You can see that it's got a bunch of cilia around its head, the sort of open part of the horn of the trumpet, furiously beating. And you can see that it pulls stuff towards that part in the water so that it can feed. For example, this bit floating here-ish is drifting this away and then into the stentor's mouth, and I don't know if it's going to eat it or not, but that's at least how it gets food. Let's try zooming in from 100 times magnification up to 200 times magnification, and maybe we can get a better look at those cilia. Yeah, you can see some there, just furiously beating. Maybe we can see some on the other side like that. So that is the stentor. This side is probably anchored to a bit of dirt because they like to anchor themselves to something to hold on as they stretch out and feed. When they're done feeding, they might contract a bit into not as elongated a shape, though still not an oval, and then swim away. But that is the stentor. While I was looking for that, I think I saw something over here. Ooh, yes, here is another stentor, which I did not notice until I started filming this. This stentor is anchored. Ooh, this is a very long one. It's probably anchored to this grain of dirt over here, grain of sand. Wait, what's going on here? I don't know. There's something else here. There's too much debris on the slide. Where was I going with this? Right, so here is another stentor. This one is greenish blue, and I ought to remember that there's one species of stentor that has this weird color, and I ought to remember which one it is. Unfortunately, I don't. I think this might be a stentor coeruleus. Coeruleus sounds a bit like cerulean, which makes me think that's the bluish-greenish one. What are these two? What's this ciliate doing to the stentor? I wonder if it's just trying to push past, or if one is trying to feed on the other, or what's going on here. Ooh, is the stentor going to eat the ciliate? Is the ciliate going to eat the stentor? Maybe they're just going to swim away and, all right, nothing interesting happened. There's too much debris on the slide, and so everyone has to crawl over each other. So there's two species of stentors here. There's this one, and there's that one. So that's pretty neat. I'm going to zoom out, and then zoom out again. So we're now at only 40 times magnification, and maybe I can go find the nematode that I wanted to show you. Unfortunately, it is in the middle of this debris, and so it might be hard to spot again. Nematodes are very small worms, and it will be wiggling around like crazy. It is much skinnier and smaller than the long snake-like cilia that we were looking at earlier. But I don't see it again. This is not anything. This looks like it ought to be something, but no, this is an air bubble, so don't let that confuse you. Though there is something here-ish. What is that? Well, it's boring. If it's something at all, it's not moving around. It might just be I don't know, a piece of plastic or hard to tell. Never mind. Let's keep looking for the nematode, and we might not see it, and that's okay. Here, nematode. What's going on? Oh, that's just some other ciliate. This is, again, the boundary line between the water and the air. So over here, everything is dried out, and over here, everything is still wet. There's one other ciliate that I thought was interesting and distinctive from the rest. Let's see if we can go find it again. It had almost a chainsaw-looking appearance, in my opinion. But the trouble with ciliates is that they move around, and they're never where you left them. And I don't know if we'll be able to see it again. Ooh, here is not what I was going to show you, but this looks like another stentor coeruleus. So there are several of them in here, or at least two. You can see it stretching out into the characteristic trumpet shape. Ooh, it got scared from me jostling the microscope as I changed objectives to zoom in. We are currently at 200 times magnification, but hopefully, if we're quiet and don't bump the table, the stentor will relax and stretch out into its trumpet shape again and start feeding some more. Yeah, there we go. And this is a different one from before because the other one had a different stentor here-ish, and this one absolutely does not. So you can see the cilia beating around the horn of the trumpet, and then just below that, oh, I missed it. Well, there had been something that looked like a big bubble. That's a contractile vacuole. If we wait long enough, it will probably fill up and contract again. As the stentor is feeding, it is taking in a bunch of water into its insides. And then the question is, how does it not burst from taking in all this water? And the answer is that it collects the water in this contractile vacuole that then contracts and expels the water back out. So you can see it's filling up. Maybe I can keep it in focus. Maybe I can't. There it is. It's sort of in focus. And then hopefully it will contract, or maybe I will miss it. Yeah, I think I missed it contract. Well, it contracted shortly before I started talking about this, so you can go back in the video and see it there. It almost looks as though the stentor's cilia are moving this whole chunk of debris towards it, but I suspect that's not the case. I suspect that water up here is evaporating, and that is what is pushing the rest of the debris in. So I am going to zoom out so I can get to the slide and try to add some water to keep everything hydrated. Have some water here. Did that help? Hopefully that helped. Let's see what else we can find. I think these are all things we've seen before. Ooh, what is this? Oh, maybe it's nothing. Yeah, I guess that's nothing. Here we are at the edge of the slide. Yeah, these look like things we've seen before. This is about where we started exploring. You can see the long, skinny microbes over here. Everything I've shown you, I believe, are single-celled creatures. But if we ever find the nematode, that is a multicellular creature. but we might just never find the nematode, and oh well. It's around somewhere. Here are the stentors again, the whitish one and the greenish one. Is anything out here? Now that we've added some water, maybe things can swim over here? No? Okay. Here's an idea. What if I switch from dark field microscopy back to bright field? Perhaps that will make it easier to see. By the way, this is nothing. This is just a air bubble. Maybe this will make it easier to find the nematode. Though usually it goes the other way around, that it's easier to find stuff with dark field microscopy than bright field. Yeah, we might not find it. Oh, what is this thing? I don't recognize that. I'm not even sure if that's alive or not. What if we go back to dark field microscopy? Oh, that might just be an interesting shaped rock. All right. Zoom out, one last attempt to find the nematode, and if we don't, I'm just going to end the video, and that will be that. Yeah, I guess it's hiding. Oh well. If I could find that one other ciliate that had a weird shape, that would be neat. There's something smallish in here that we haven't looked at before, but it's not the one I was hoping to show. But while we're here, sure, why not? Let's take a look at that thing. There's two in here. This is the boring one. We've seen those already. And then this is, oh, maybe it is much smaller than I remember. And, oh, I've lost it. No. Is this it? Well, that's something else different that I don't recall seeing before. And it looks like there's two of them. These are ciliates, and you can really see the cilia on this one beating. Microbes use their ciliates to both swim and pull food towards them in the water currents. I'm not sure what these are. They're not paramecia, but they've got a very strange shape, sort of like a paramecium. Hard to tell. But this video is far too long already, so I'm going to end it here.